always said that when the Comex is going to collapse when they do these cables here, and we're waiting for it. We're all in on it. Our bets are on the table here. We're waiting for it. We're near that $50 range. Is that 50-year cup and handle, 45 cup and handle, and I think the timing's appropriate. You've got Bitcoin on the ropes. If they cut the cable, wow, what happens to those Bitcoin? What happens to Bitcoin?
Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with John Perez, a good friend of the channel. He hasn't been on for a while. His Telegram channel is really popular. It's called Silver is Money. And he's also on X at Comstock Royalty if you want to follow him. John, welcome back to the channel.
Yeah, nice to be back. It's time's flying. It seems like it's just things are going by so fast. I mean, we're at $45 silver. I mean, damn near 3,800 gold, and the stocks are out of control. But it's fabulous, though. I mean, even though I haven't been here, boy, I have never been busier. I have never been busier, but it's a good busy though. Everybody's making money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And yeah, I think this is it. This is when miners and bullion start going up quite a bit. I think there's a lot of calls for corrections, and there will be, but I don't think there will be huge corrections for now. But what I wanted to speak as well about today, which is really interesting, is something that you've covered quite a bit, maybe 2, 3 years ago, maybe more. I don't know exactly. And you were considered a conspiracy theory for bringing it up. And we've spoken about this here on the channel. And now, the other day, last week, I sent you a huge article from the FT. They've covered it in a huge, big, really detailed article about Russia's undersea spying of all the undersea cables that connect, let's say, the financial system and other things. The internet connects the UK, Europe, Ireland with the United States. So maybe you could give us a background on undersea cables, fiber optics. There's also pipelines for gas, because a lot of people think that a lot of the communications we have is done through satellite, but that's not true, right? So
That's
give
right.
us a little bit of background on these undersea cables, and then we can jump to the Russian theme.
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, we already know that they're willing to blow up underwater gas pipelines. So pipelines and cables are fair game in war. I mean, they're still trying to explain to us, Nord Stream 2, which is pretty obvious that the Americans did that. And I think they're just using this as another. Well, it's hard to say whether this, they're gonna, obviously, by them putting it out in the media right now, they're pre-blaming the Russians here. So of course, the Russians are always going to be blamed for everything. And hey, if I've always said that when the Comex is going to collapse when they do these cables here, and we're waiting for it. We're all in on it. Our bets are on the table here. We're waiting for it. We're near that $50 range. Is that 50-year cup and handle, 45 cup and handle, and I think the timing's appropriate. You've got Bitcoin on the ropes. If they cut the cable, wow, what happens to those Bitcoin? What happens to Bitcoin? There's a lot of things that are coming here, but with what's going on, and Trump has completely reversed his position with Ukraine and Russia. At first he's like, "We'll stop the war. We'll stop the war." Well, the war is still going on, so that didn't work out. So now what's next? Oh, we'll bring peace. One phone call, be peace. Well, now they're accelerating, and now Trump wants Ukraine to get land back. So this conflict is going on. But they've been, my comment regarding this, I first talked about this in an interview with David Morgan in February of 2023, and I called it the Russia factor. And I called it the Comex apocalypse. The Comex apocalypse, the theory is that the Comex would collapse based on the LBMA reports not being able to be sent across the sea there because of cables being cut, and I'm sure they've got backup. There are people that are experts in that have contacted me and said, "Well, I'm sure there's backup cables." I said, "Well, I'm sure there are, but that's not the script, though. The script is silver has to go up, and we got to blame someone for it." So I see this as really, I don't see it as odd timing as much as, hey, well, we're near $50 silver. I mean, we really need a nice catalyst to boost us right through to 65, because I do believe we'll be at above $65 silver here before Christmas. And if there's going to be a catalyst to trigger Rule 589, allowing silver to go up $10 to $12 a day for 10 days straight, then we're going to get us $175 to $225 silver here in very short order here. And we've got a stock market ready to crash. I mean, it's the markets are up high because of all the insider buying, and I mean the stock buybacks. There's really nothing under there. We've got everything else on the ropes. I mean, housing is crashing, car loans are crashing. There was a big story on a banking loan that was out the other day about banking entity that was related to Fifth Third and J.P. Morgan. And now it's a really, really big problem here. So I think the timing of this is good. We got silver already out of control. We know that the majority of silver, the only reason why it's held down is because of the paper complex and the paper derivatives holding down the silver price, the physical silver price. We have everything in silver is running, silver stocks, everything else. And, I mean, in our group here, we've been quiet at Silver Gold Stocks. We are just making money hand over fist. I mean, I've made dozens of people millionaires already this year, and there's gonna be another 50 more people becoming rich between now and Christmas here. It has been relentless. So to see this coming together for us is I see $175 silver, 225 the collapse the Rule 589, the collapse of the Comex. But I think a lot of people are not going to be ready for, if this happens, they're going to say, well, who saw this coming? And I'll say, well, Mario and Perez saw this coming here. This is probably the third time we've spoken about this. The fact that propaganda is already out there. If something happens here, it's going to be tit for tat. And also, by the way, this same situation is also occurring and possible in Taiwan and China. So if we see cables cut here, the same situation is occurring and can occur in China and the South China Sea between Taiwan and the mainland here too. So we got some big fireworks going on here. I got to tell you, I've never been busier. I have been literally just on the screen, 52-week highs. Everything's going up, triple digits. And this weekend, 4-digit gains. And it's all the markets, the stock markets and silver gold stocks, they're already responding to all this stuff here. And they started a while ago here. So it's been great here. But that article you sent, though, I mean, it's almost like, hey, don't look over there, look over here. I mean, if silver blows up, under something like this, and they get to point the finger at the Russians, well, they're going to take, a camera off of the people that really should be getting the daylight on why the market in silver is being shorted so badly. But this could throw light on it too, though. So as crazy as this sounds, having this conversation, I do believe it's going to be an issue. And then there's also another issue of a potential Russian submarine off the coast of the UK, hunt for Red October type thing. And so we got a lot going on here. And I'm watching this. I used to be really on top of it, but now I'm just so busy just managing the movement of the stock market. And since we spoke, we covered the GDX last October, and and it bottomed, and it's just on fire right now. So
Yeah, John, I wanted to ask you because most people think that like communications is done via satellite, and they don't realize that these undersea cables are so, I mean, I think 99% of all the financial communications between the Wall Street center, the New York banks and the London banks, Comex and LBMA, because Comex and LBMA, they do the EFP.
yes,
Everything is
that's the
done
pre-order.
through, yeah, everything is done through fiber optic undersea cables. The nickname for the British pound to dollar exchange rate is cable, and that's vestige from the 19th century when they first put undersea copper cables for telegraph. That's how the foreign exchange market evolved. And yeah, 99, I was just reading that article, 99% of UK communications is done through undersea cables. So could you also explain to the viewers what force majeure would mean for Comex and LBMA? And I guess that would be an excuse for them to cancel contracts, right? And that's why having
Yeah.
physical gold and silver is really important because your futures and even ETFs, I would say, would be liable, I think, to the
Yes.
to this meltdown in communications.
Yeah, we don't, I rarely promote ETFs for that reason alone. I just am not safe there. I think if this something like this happens and the Dow is still holding, then it's going to allow gold and silver to decouple. But this is almost in a lot of ways with the SLV, the GLD, and some other pieces here, it's really going to expose a system that really needs to be exposed. I mean, here we are, we're the mainstream of precious metals. We talk about this stuff on a daily basis, but the general public doesn't really know that the entire market is being basically manipulated by these derivatives. So if this is to break down, first of all, they'll have the right person to point the finger at. We'll just blame those Russians, like we always do. Never mind Nord Stream 2 pipeline getting blown up. And the Russians really have a case for retaliation because no one's really come back and identified who did Nord Stream 2, although I forgot his name. He did a lot of work on that. But that Nord Stream 2, the word is it's going to be taken over by an American investor, an oil investor, and they're going to be moving Russian gas into Europe and taking a commission off of it, but re-putting the line back on play here. So you never know how things are going to run out, pay higher, but keep an eye on that one down the road. But I think this has been planned for years because I was going through data going way back, and usually I follow patterns on the internet, what kind of stories get out there, and this one here caught my attention in December of 2022, and I started looking more and more and more, and I started doing some more work. I thought this is a plan. This to me is a planned event with the underwater cables. It's a planned event, and it's. I mean, look, this is kind of odd. Who'd ever think that those LBMA reports would be so important? Well, here we are at $45 silver. Hey, we get to 48, 49, and we just got blacked out. Where's the silver reports? It's like my Russian dog ate my silver reports here. At that point, everybody holding physical is going to be gold. You're going
It's
to
going to be
be.
like you won't be able to get it because the price setting mechanism in the West is done via Comex and the LBMA, and if these two markets are down, I guess you'd have Shanghai Gold Exchange, Moscow Gold Exchange, but yeah, how do you think it's going to affect the market in terms of prices and also the miners? That could
Ooh,
be huge.
I think we'll finally get mania. I think we'll finally get silver mania. Like there was WrestleMania. Now we're gonna get silver mania, and that's what we need. We need silver mania. We need everyone running to their coin store, grabbing everything off the counter here, having it all disappear, and then having everyone on the news saying, "Oh my gosh, those darn Russians! They ruined the." And then in Shanghai, I believe they're running. I've seen a consistent $2 to $3 spread and a higher price there. Well, the Chinese could just come in and say, "Hey, let's just jack the price up here. Why not?" I mean, what? Well, we don't know how much silver's in LBMA. We know there's nothing in Comex, and it's all buried underground. So let's just reprice it. Let's do our own Rule 589. And if Rule 589 is triggering up, I think it's 10 or $12 a day for 10 days. The circuit breakers go off. Well, the Chinese are going to respond and say, well, let's just follow Rule 589. They're just going to go right with it. I don't think
Yeah.
it's,
Can
yeah, I
you
think, I think we're
can
going to
you
have
ex
mania at that times.
Can you explain a bit Rule 589? Because there's also like limit up every day, isn't it? Isn't it
Yeah,
like $2 and then they or five? But what is exactly Rule 589? Because you talked about 12, is it $15 in silver
it's
or
for I've read a couple articles on this here. $12 seems to be the number. The reason why I come up with that's how I come up with my forecast. I told my people, I said, look, if this cable thing goes down, then we're looking at $12 per day for 10 days. So supposedly it's a circuit breakers go off 10, 12 up, circuit breaker limit up, 10 days of 10 days at a buck 20, at $12. That's a buck 20. Well, you had a buck 20 to 50, you got a buck 70, $170. Then you had some mania in there and you're around $225. And I think that's where we're going to end up. I don't think anybody's going to be really prepared for that coming in. I mean, we're ready for it. I'm ready, and but it's a Rule 589 by the CME, the Comex, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Basically, if the mechanism, the system fails, it's supposed to move up $12, hit the circuit breakers, lock the price in, go to the next day, go up another $12, 10 days. Well, to the average person, that might say, oh, this is just crazy. Silver going up $12. From my perspective, silver should be at $225 right now. Not if we go, if this thing blows out, okay, there goes the cable, there goes silver, there goes Rule 589. And I say, hey, look, there's 225, Perez. Are you happy? No, that's the right price.
yeah?
That is the right price right
What's
there.
the
I would be so happy.
what's the limit on gold? Is there a 589 rule for
Yeah,
gold?
I don't believe there's a 589. If there is one, I'm not aware of it. I've always focused on silver because it's so draconian what they're doing there at silver. I mean, what is it? 450 ounces of paper on top of 1 ounce. I mean, that just tells you that when this goes here, how quickly it's going to go. I think it's going to be very violent. I call it the Kraken, the silver Kraken. Release the Kraken.
And so how convinced, I mean, I know it's difficult to predict, but how convinced are you that we're really close to some kind of uh, cyber event or cable event?
I
Because you
think
remember Klaus Schwab after the COVID pandemic, he said the next pandemic is going to be a cyber pandemic, you know. Uh,
whatever happened to him? He like vanished all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
yeah, I think he's been replaced by Larry Fink. So,
Yeah, yeah. I thought he was in. Said he was in a dungeon under the White House. I don't know
okay,
if that's true or not.
I don't think so, but anyway.
So uh, I don't know how crazy it'll be here, but I think that the system here, if we stop and think about it, is the Comex collapsing? I've always told my people that the Comex apocalypse happens during the underwater cable thing because the Americans, they're not going to say, oh, shoot, we were shorting silver and we got caught with our pants down. Damn it. There goes silver. What did we do? They're going to do that. They're going to say,
Yeah.
oh, it's a Russia, Russia, Russia. That's what they're going to do here. And then we have
Well,
people, I think people are going to get the truth after that then too.
October would be a propitious month because you in the 80s you remember the movie I think it was
Yes.
Sean Connery Hunt for Red October and
Yes.
in this article they talk about how some of these spy submarines they call them spies uh, it can go down deeper 10 times than the normal submarine and that
Yes.
they're policing all the cables all the pipelines yeah.
Yeah, it's the hunt for Red October. I mean, if you live in the Q world, it's actually a conspiracy that's been well talked about. The hunt for Red October situation. Here we are in October, stock market's red. If this listen, if this cable breaks, I mean, what else? Okay, so let's see. The Comex is out. What else is out? Oh, let's see. Oh, the gold stuff is out. What else? Oh, stock market nine was it like $9 trillion per day? Well, it looks like the London exchange is out. Anything else you want to put on the list that's out? It's like, what else here? Horse racing, that's out too. I mean, these guys are going to put everything on there. And everything probably really is on there. But I do believe if there is a blowout like this, I think there's going to be some geopolitical forces within the existing forces here. I mean, because I mean, it appears to me that the UK politics is completely gone insane right now. It's like the draconian measures against their own people in the UK downtown with the demonstrations. I was watching some this morning. I thought, goodness gracious, I haven't seen this for a while. I didn't realize it was so out of control. So maybe there's a going to be a cutoff
Yeah.
of some sort of leadership there, that something needs to happen there, because what I see going on there in the UK in politics just is completely out of control. It's like, if
Yeah, and
you're
they sorry to interrupt you, and they want to also bring in now digital IDs, which is something that a lot of British people don't like because we have a tradition of common law and freedom of the individual, which was something that the U.S. Adopted, historically. But the other
yes.
thing, John, about this cable incident, potential cable incident that could trigger some conflict. I think NATO is really pushing, and by NATO I don't really mean the US. It's more like the UK and the EU, Germany, Britain, and France. They're really pushing the Russians, and
Oh
they
yeah.
could use this. Russian attack of the undersea cables as an excuse to declare war, and that's worrying.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're going to do. I mean, if they say, "Oh, this is an attack on economics here," and markets start crashing, and they have. I mean, the politics against Russia right now are just completely World War III right now. I mean, you can see it in the UN speeches, and the Russians are not backing down. No one's backing down here, and the odd thing is that it would be to have an event like this happen would actually be almost a benefit to the politicians in the UK to basically, find an external boogeyman. Here we are, basically hammering our own people here. Let's point the finger at Vlad, the impaler down the street in Russia here, who's turned off the lights. It's bad enough, and to the average man in the street in the UK, I don't think anybody's going to buy that. In fact, there's probably, if you were to do a poll on whether people would vote for Vladimir Putin for joining politics in the UK, there's a good chance he might get a couple votes out of that, simply because
Yeah,
the suffering going on over there.
yeah, and the other thing as well, our current government, they're really in trouble fiscally. Like they're the backbenchers in the Labour Party who run the government. They're calling for the chancellor to increase, drop austerity and increase government spending. But the bond market would react really badly. But if there is some kind of conflict, uh, they can do anything they want. So that is worrying. But more onto so what do you think is the most important thing for stackers and also precious metals miners and minor investors? Because yeah, I want to ask you about the stacking gold and silver, why it's so important, especially if this kind of event happens. But on the mining side, do you ever worry about the great taking? Because a lot of people worry, should I get share certificates, or is that
No,
you're not
I've
concerned about?
no, I don't. The reason why I don't is because the if I think that the U.S. military would be bombing American civilians before they let the stock market crash. And that's what I think. I don't think the stock market operating to me is more important than book writers making millions selling books, spooking people here. They're never going to let the stock market go down. This is like what greases it greases the skids of all the corrupt, the white hats, the black hats. All of DC is greased by the skids of the stock market. I'm not a believer in that, because the current situation and the premise behind that story it's always been this way. It's always been an escrow type situation where you never had your stocks, and I've seen this happen before. I've had a couple stories. I've been in the stock market for 20 years. And I've been in situations where people buy a stock, and the stock goes up, and then they hit the shorts. The shorts are doing this, and then says everybody get their certificates. They get their certificates, and then the stock starts to go up, and all of a sudden, the
I've
if the
got a
stock
chart.
crashes, you're not liquid. You can't get out. You can't. There's
Yeah.
no in and out.
Sorry,
And
let
I
me,
just yeah.
John, just wanted to, on that topic that you say they will never let the stock market collapse. I think you could be right because I've got this from the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. It's the distributional financial accounts. So this is all the wealth in the United States and who owns the wealth. So the top 0.1%, which is this here, they own 13 trillion. The top 1% own like 33.4, and the top 10 own 75 trillion. And the bottom 50 only own 1.76 trillion. And if we look at in terms of percentage, I mean, yeah, the top 1%, they own almost 40%. Well, they own 30%. And then with the 10% own like 70%. So yeah, the 10% are not going to allow this to happen. Is that what
yeah,
you're saying?
yeah. Well, just like I said, I think that if there was a bunch of Americans holding hostage the stock market in downtown New York, I think they would just drop a tactical nuke and just blow them up. They're not letting anybody drop this stock market here.
Yeah,
We may go through a shut off phase, and I wouldn't be surprised if we had a shutdown and they reset it to a tokenized system. If you're going to do a tokenization here, this would be the time to do it in an event like this with where things go out. It's like let's go tokenize stocks because they intend to do that anyhow. And I've always believed that. Well, if you're going to do that, do it under some 9/11 type conditions, tokenize it here. So this may be a situation where they can do that, but at the same time, gold's going to be blasting upward, silver's going to be blasting upward. And to your point earlier here, boy, once people figure out that there's no silver and it's being held down by the derivatives, and there's no silver on the surface to cut it out. If you're sitting on the right silver exploration stocks when it shuts down, when it turns back on, and there's no shorting, because if this goes down, the shorts will be gone. Those stocks are going to go to the heavens, and
yeah,
and it's going to be one of those situations where there'll be people saying, "Oh, I'm going to see what happens and I'll buy the stock." I got news for you. They're going straight up. They're going to gap up. They're going to go up 200, 300, 400, 1000% gapping up. You'll be just chasing things. And the people that got in, we're going through this right now. We're going through this where we have stocks gapping up, going up, insane. People making so much money. I mean,
yeah,
we have
John.
yeah, it's incredible.
Can people still join your Telegram group, Silver is Money?
Yeah,
Is
you
this
can
like
still
an
enjoy silver's
investment?
money.
Is it like an investment club?
Yeah, it's a pretty much a stock pickers club. I do everything. I pretty much
Yeah,
the guy comes in, it's like, hey, I got X amount of money. Guy comes in, you guys, 50,000, 100,000, half a million. I mean, we're pretty big, and we got a lot of people inside here, a lot of experience, and yeah, you can join. And it's I pretty much do everything. Like people come to me, what do I do? It's very simple here. You're gonna buy this here, and go sit by the pool and relax. I'll do everything
yeah,
else.
yeah.
That's pretty much it. And I mean, we are the numbers that we have showing up here. I put a video out this weekend. They make no sense. People are like, this is real. I go, this is real, but I prepared for 3 years for this market. I know what's going on here. This Rule 589 thing, we're going to clean up on this. We're going to clean up on everything here, and even the resetting of gold to the U.S. Treasury here, getting ready for that here, and silver at what $45. We'll be at $50 this week, and we picked what I believe is the stock of the year. And we have a colossal position there in rare earth and gold with Trump and Dateline. Remember that Dateline Resources? It is just it won't stop. The stock will not stop going up here, and just everyone's in shock. I said I did this in the last market here. I will make at least 300 to 400 people millionaires here in less than the next 12 months. And it's not stopping here. And that's why I keep back to what you were talking about silver. We have all our silver positions in. I believe that there is a shutdown here. Once people figure out that the shorts are gone and the price of silver is taken off on its own, it's correcting to where it should be. And then you've got a market that either resets to a tokenized system or back to the legacy systems here. These stocks are not going to just open up and they're going to gap up, and because people are going to know. And at that point, I mean, I've always told my people, you got to be in it to win it. And we've been in it. Everything we own, we bought at 52-week lows. So when people say, oh, this stock's up double one bagger, two bagger, we got multiple 10 baggers, but in colossal concentrated positions where we're just cleaning up here. Everybody is, but it took 3 years of preparation.
Yeah.
I mean, I prepared and prepared. You know that.
John, I wanted to go back a little. Sorry to interrupt you. Go back a little bit to the Great Taking. Could it be? I mean, David Rogers Webb seems like a honest, down to earth guy, but he did work for George Soros, so that's the only thing that's a little
I
bit
didn't know
suspect.
that.
Yeah, and do you think it could be like a psyop to keep the small people out of the market?
Well, let me give you a story, a true story. I have two true stories here where this happened in precious metals world, where I was working on a stock and everyone was complaining that the stock was being manipulated, it was being shorted, and then all of a sudden there was a movement. Everybody take your certificates, so they can't short it. Well, a whole bunch of people took their certificates home, and brought it home. So, oh, I have control. I have my certificate. Of course, I was a professional trader, and I was like, not so smart. So why is that so smart? I go, you'll see soon. Why do you, Perez, you're so cryptic. I said, I have to be. Why? I said, because I know how this game works. And lo and behold, the stock just went whoop, about 1,200%. Of course, sell, Well, if you had your stock certificate at home, sell. What are you gonna do? You got to go to it's take weeks. You're done. The stock went up. We sold. We were out liquid. Then it came straight down. I said, welcome to the stock market here. There are risks. There are risks on holding, not having certificates, but there are greater risks that you just can't get out. It's like having your Bitcoin on your the memory stick. It's like, is it really worth anything? I mean, if I'm going to Vegas with my $1 billion in Bitcoin on a memory stick, you're like, you can't even play a slot machine with one of those things here.
Yeah, as for naked short selling, John, sorry to interrupt you. I remember a few years ago, a brokerage executive in the US, he came out maybe in an interview with CNBC or Bloomberg and said, there's loads of naked short selling. We sell short stuff we don't even have. So does it really matter if you take the certificate? I guess.
The great taking has been happening, since they created the Comex. They've been taking profits for I mean, look at JP Morgan's paid billions in fines. Why? Because they've been greatly taking profits and stuff. Nobody wrote a book about that. Someone made a lot of money selling this. I really believe it. It's like I said, if there was a group of people shutting down the stock market, they would get bombed. Trump would just call it in and just bomb it. That's how important this. People don't realize you're not shutting down the stock market. And if you got millions of people with having everything taken from them, you can have people in the streets. Those are Trump's friends. That ain't gonna happen, and maybe there might be an attempt or something that looks like it's gonna happen like that. But I just don't believe that, because it's just too much chaos here. And it's too easy to have a solution for that. Hey, we took away your paper. We'll give you back your silver tokens. Well, we were going to go tokenize anyway, because Howard Lutnick said, he was very clear, and I'm okay with this. It's not a CBDC. Howard Lutnick said that we are going to tokenize all American assets in the ground. That's why he's saying map, baby, map, drill, baby, drill. They're talking about mapping out all the U.S. assets, gold, silver, all the commodities, mapping them out, and then putting a price tag on, and then tokenizing them. They're going to do that in the future here. But when? Well, I would say we'd probably do it during some sort of major event, major accident, major false flag, major planned false flag. Don't look over here while we're fixing this. I mean, it's like the Patriot Act. We had 9/11 happen and suddenly we got the Patriot Act. It's like, well,
It
when do
was
you bring in the Patriot Act?
it
Something
was
like that.
ready. It was actually it came out so quickly. It was ready even before. So it's kind of
Yeah.
suspicious.
Probably the memo is
Yeah,
is the Patriot Act ready there?
yeah,
Did you
yeah.
get the memo?
I want to bring up this cartoon here. This has come out, I think, yeah, I saw it as well, but you sent it to me. I think Trump posted this weekend, which is
Yes.
funny. You're fired. What's going on here? Is he pushing? Is he that desperate? Can't he wait till May when Jay Powell, leaves the Fed?
I I I think he posted this. And
Yeah,
there's yeah, October 4th. There's some key dates coming up here. What September 29th
October
is
4th is
tomorrow.
a Saturday.
Yeah, I'm sorry. September 29th, tomorrow,
Yeah.
is the anniversary of Black Monday on Wall Street. So tomorrow, we're gonna get up in the morning and
Is
say,
that the
well,
1929?
I believe so. I believe
Yeah.
tomorrow. Yeah, I remember September 20th. So it's literally, I think it's the same day. I thought, what a coincidence. Oh, wow. What could
Hmm.
go wrong? It's like maybe he'll fire him tomorrow or today. And yeah, look. I love, by the way, I love how you do this. Um, September 29th, Black Monday. Let's see if I'm accurate there.
Wall Street crash, October 24th, and then October 29th.
No, there's a September 29th. There's a September 29th, also September crash.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see. Wall Street crash of 29, October. It's mostly associated with October 24th, 1929, Black Thursday. And then October 29th, Black Tuesday. I think Black Monday could be 1987.
okay. I'm going to pull up on this. I was looking at this. That's funny. I said, because September 29th, and I read this in an article here.
Black Monday, October 19th. But anyway, October is usually, we've had some pretty big crashes in October.
October is great for gold and silver. I mean, I think it's going to be you know, honestly, and I have to say this, I am having such a record year. It's my career is at such a stellar point of success right now. I can't even fathom how great it's going to be out in October, and everyone is. It's just there's something is happening out there right now,
How long do you
and
think
yeah.
this trend is going to continue? I mean, um, have we got another year or two or more in the precious metals? And
Oh, I think we're gonna go, yeah, at least another year of this insanity here. I think it's gonna accelerate though. I think we're gonna be at $3,800. I think we're gonna be at $3,800 gold this week
yeah,
and
that's quite
$50 silver
easy.
this week. And if this if this cartoon is accurate, which I believe it is, well, he did put it out. Then I mean, pretty much Trump is pretty much guaranteed $4,000 gold very quickly and $65 and 50 plus silver here. I'm almost immediately. So I saw that cartoon. I said, oh, hallelujah. Great,
But
great.
wasn't there the Supreme Court was supposed to decide on whether he could sack Lisa Cook? Is that come out
Yeah.
yet?
I think the Supreme Court's in there, but sometimes you look at these, it almost as if Trump is running on a script and like everyone's throwing, knives at him and he's just dodging all the knives and getting his job done. It's like
Mm.
everything he does, he's like going through a gauntlet and everybody's punching and swinging at him, but they keep missing and he keeps on, hitting his goals. And I'm a precious metals rare, silver and gold specialist, but I have become a rare earth specialist according to Grok. I made some big predictions here and Grok picked up on it, and
Okay.
yeah, it's been great. I mean, we're killing it right now.
Can
And there's
we, yeah, just wanted to ask you about Bitcoin. What do you think would happen to Bitcoin if these
if the cable gets cut,
yeah.
it's like if the cable gets cut, I think Bitcoin's going to take a nosedive. A Sailor could be. I could see Sailor, run around the street naked if that happens. It's like by my strategy. Hey, what happens if the light goes off? Somebody tell you.
And
I think,
what's
yeah,
your opinion on these stable coins? Like the fact that the U.S. government is pushing stable coins. It seems to me that it's like a gimmick because stable coins are used because a lot of the crypto exchanges don't take fiat dollars. They prefer dealing in stable coins, which are like the dollar. But if they really wanted to deregulate and allow these exchanges to come mainstream, they would allow these exchanges to just use the dollar to
yeah.
trade. But so it seems to me that stable coins is just a gimmick to try to get people to buy the stable coins so that they can use treasuries to back it. So people demand more treasuries. But I don't think it's going to work because treasuries are still fiat currency and there's still huge amount of debt growing.
I have a conspiracy there. I have a conspiracy that, and you know what? You're actually part of it, Mario. Remember that Judy Shelton said they would want to back the 40-year Treasury in July of 2026 with gold. Well, if that happens here, there's a very good chance that we're going to see some that those treasuries could end up as basically a recommended purchases by crypto coin companies to back whatever it is they have. And suddenly they have a gold backed treasury backing a crypto coin. And suddenly you have a gold backed crypto indirectly here by default because you got to buy, in order to be in business, you must buy the gold backed US treasury to let your coin ride. Otherwise, we're going to shut you down. And it's going to be kind of Basel III related. And suddenly it's like, oh my gosh, they're buying US treasuries backed by gold, talked about by Judy Shelton. It's
Yeah.
like, and away we go. And
Tether,
away we
Tether,
go.
Tether as well has been buying physical gold, hasn't it?
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
ton. They got 80 billion in gold. They're buying by the ton. And I've said Tether
The
really
thing with
controls. Yeah.
Tether though, the gold backing doesn't mean to say for the viewers, if you buy Tether or the stable coin, if gold goes up, yes, your dollar doesn't go up. So that's quite a clever way to.
Yeah.
They're not giving the benefit of the appreciation of gold to the holders. They're also not paying because when they buy treasury bills, they get a return. People in the crypto world who hold Tether, they don't get the interest. So it's a really good business for these
Yeah.
people. I mean, don't you think
Yeah,
people
I
are going to
agree.
start asking, I want some interest on my Tether?
Yeah. Well, if let's get down to some mechanics on Tether. Who said they were going to tokenize all the US assets in the ground? It was Howard Lutnick. Howard Lutnick is the former CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald. Cantor Fitzgerald manages all the money at Tether and all the gold here. Wow, that's a pretty
And
close relationship
they're
there.
the biggest broker. They're the biggest treasury broker in the world as well, which helps.
Yes. Yeah. So it almost makes sense if Howard Lutnick is supporting rare earth mining. Howard Lutnick is supporting gold mining. He's a big mining professional now. He's a big mining bull now. People don't know this, but Secretary Burgum of the United States Department of Interior, huge mining bull. I love this guy. I love this guy. He's a promoter. I'm like, keep going, keep going. Give these guys some more coffee or something. They're promoting gold mining, rare earth mining, and stuff, and it's helping. It's great for the stock market, but Howard Lutnick is also a big mining promoter. But I do believe if he's controlling Tether, I mean, it wouldn't take one regulation to say, okay, everyone, we're going to have to phase out Bitcoins as backed by nothing. If you own Bitcoin, we're going to force convert you into Tether. And suddenly there all these Bitcoin money is into Tether. It's the same because the same guys manage it. It's funny. The money by do you know who manages Tether's money? Cantor Fitzgerald. And they manage their
Yeah, yeah.
gold. And they're, I mean, it's just, it's, and they're already in under one roof, treasuries, gold, and tether and Bitcoin, all under one roof already, by a Trump cabinet official who already said he's going to tokenize everything here. So to me, I think this one's already in the bag. The public won't see it. I used to go on these conspiracies and tell people, like, no, they're not going to see it. I just tell my club people, we're all going to make a lot of money. We're all going to get rich doing watching these people here scratch their heads wondering what's going on here. And we're killing it right now. We are absolutely just killing it because people just don't want to. People don't want to see that there may really be a conspiracy going out there. But I do believe, though, that what you just mentioned about these coins, these altcoin crypto coins, there's nothing. It's going to be a stroke of a pen. You must buy U.S. treasuries to trade in the United States. By the way, you got to buy those gold-backed treasuries. It's like, boom. I mean, it would be that. I would do it. You know, what would you do? I'd do exactly what I just said. You got to buy U.S. treasuries backed by gold. Now you're out of business because you have nothing backing you. And then at that point, the government can say, well, now you own treasuries backed by gold. Oh, you are blessed. Name the flag and the ground, and the earth we walk on. You are now a gold backed crypto here. I mean, that's they're not killing the market. And I'm not a Bitcoin. The closer silver gets to 50, the more Bitcoin's crashing. That's one thing right now. They're separating right now. So I think we're going to see something unusual with Bitcoin as silver gets closer to that 50 mark there. I've been watching, I watch that on a daily basis.
You used to have a saying about silver and Bitcoin.
Bitcoin dies, silver flies.
Oh yeah, Bitcoin dies, silver flies. Oh, great, John.
I'm still there. I'm holding that one. I'm holding it. We're flying right now.
We're gonna wrap up. So, could you tell the viewers what you think is the most important thing, not just in the precious metals market, but in terms of investing, the mindset that they need to have? And this is not financial advice, just what you think is important right now.
You have to have physical gold and physical silver, and I love platinum in your possession, period, that you can control. You have to. I have had so many people come to me and they have had everything stored over here. I said, bring it home. Bring it. I was like, well, I didn't think it would be that bad. I said, if 40 ounces of silver, of gold is a lot of money. You can hold that in your hand. I mean, you can pretty much bury that, hide that just about anywhere. People really need to hold that physical because during the last bull run, I remember, I remember things disappear when they become very expensive. I remember seeing vaults go empty, gold just vanish. I had this situation with a client of mine dealt with it where he had 125,000 ounces of silver being held at a dealer who was reputable. Boom, the stuff just disappeared. I'm a big believer that people should hold, platinum, silver, and gold physical. And as far as the stock market, I don't subscribe to the great taking. And I'm a big stock guy, but we're balanced though. Like in order to join the Silver Gold Stocks Club, you have to have 1,000 ounces of silver. And people are like, 1,000 ounces? Because people say, well, you should have physical. I said, you can't join unless you have 1,000 ounces. Why 1,000? Because I do believe silver is going to $1,000 an ounce. And at $1,000 an ounce, 1,000 ounces is $1 million. The world comes to an end. Silver goes to $1,000. You're a millionaire. You got gold. Gold's at 10,000. Okay, I got 3 ounces of gold. Okay, well, great. Well, if gold and silver are at this price, guess what? Real estate is down 80%, 70%. It'll be destroyed. I don't think we'll get there, but the premise and the idea is, your gold and your silver, that's your life preserver on a ship. If you go on a ship and you have to have a life preserver on, your physical gold and silver, that is your physical gold and silver in one hand, and then in your other hand, depends on what country you're in, maybe it's a Glock, or a SIG with some copper in it, and some brass, you got your gold, your silver, your copper, your brass, you got to cover yourself. But I do believe that investors really need to have a lot of cash, if you have things you do not need, get rid of them. I've told people, I have my friend, you got 3 motorcycles, dude. You can only ride one. Sell 2, put the cash into silver and gold and bury it. And I've had a lot of guys do this. He's like, I'm so glad I did that. I said, you'll thank me later. Believe me, there's something coming here. and I don't like to always tell people what I know because it's so far out of the realm of normalcy, but it's happening here. I can see it now. Bitcoin, silver going right now, and by the amount of money coming into our sector, it's I'm a big you know me, Mario. I'm a big promoter. I promote. Yes, we're going to do this. We're going to make all this money. We're going to do this. Now I'm looking and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I underestimated this, and I'm overboard. I'm a big bull. Silver $1,000, gold $10,000, 10-to-1 ratio here. Our stocks are going to the heavens, the universe, and all of a sudden, like, oh my gosh, look at all this money coming in. Whoa, where's it coming from? There's the professionals, the old money, the insider money. I think in the Trump administration, they know what's coming here and they are moving into these stocks. That's why we see that tide is lifting all these boats right now. So if you have your physical, you should have a percentage of your position in the paper market so you don't watch it go by. You have to have some exposure. Otherwise, inflation could eat a part of your takings with gold and silver here. Now I'm a big stock guy, so we have people that have made, have increased their 401k by 10 times, in just a matter of months. It's like the numbers here don't make any sense, and there's something going on because the speed of silver going up, gold. I said this is really not good, you guys. I said this is a big hole in the Titanic, and the water is pouring in, and
Yeah.
it's money.
Did you
It
see
is
as
money
well
coming in there.
the other day Morgan Stanley changed their 60/40 portfolio, which is 60% stocks and 40% bonds, to 60/20/20, and 20% is gold. So gold has gone from almost nothing, because I guess it's still it was still part of maybe the stock portfolio, but very tiny. But now it's 20. That means it potentially could go up at least 10 times. And
Yes.
we could see the other Wall Street banks move to that kind of proportion as well.
Yeah, if that cartoon that Trump put out is real regarding we're going to forget $4,000 goal. We're going to 5,000 and then 6,000. This
Oh yeah,
4,000, I think 4,000, I think we're going to go
JP
right through 4,000.
Goldman Sachs even said a couple weeks ago, if Trump brings the Fed independence under, if he threatens the Fed independence more, gold could go to 5,000. So this this post he made, this cartoon, is part of that threatening the Fed's independence. So you could be right about 5,000. So John, it was great speaking with you. We should speak again soon.
Yeah, I love
Keep
coming on your
keep
show. You have such
uh,
great people.
keep an eye on these cables. I mean,
Oh,
October is coming up, so you never know. And
everybody. Yes,
yeah,
yeah, this is a big deal. If the cable busts, you got to call me for an emergency meeting.
yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
game. I'll be good to go
Okay,
on. You know,
great.
we'll be like, oh my God, what if, forget the cables, look at the price of silver. It's like, oh my,
Yeah.
the world is ending and all you care
No,
about is money.
this
It's
is
like,
quite
yeah, I do.
serious. The cable thing is quite serious. It would only not only affect Comex and financial communication, it would affect everything. We could see the whole
Yeah, I think
internet
we'll,
internet go
yeah,
down. Everything will go down. It's very serious. Anyway,
yes.
John, yeah, thank you again, and I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a wild week again. It's going to be a wild.
Thanks. Take care.